We had good lunch. Second chapter, disclosure of wrongdoing or confessing negative deeds. Confessing negative deeds. Now this is like this. If you, that part there is no light, why? You don't need light there? Or there is no light? That part? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay, for example, if you, not you, if Tushita invites His Holiness the Dalai Lama here, then they will make lot of preparations. Clean the surrounding, decorate the area with flowers and things like, So this is like that. When you, what you are doing is now you read about the benefits of bodhicitta, and in order to invite bodhicitta in your mind, first of all, you need to make yourself as a suitable place to have bodhicitta. Let us personify bodhicitta. If you want to invite bodhicitta, you need to make your mind clean. Just like you clean the surrounding when you invite His Holiness Dalai Lama or somebody important, right? You cannot invite bodhicitta when your mind is filled with all the negative deeds and no sense of appreciation of good things, like that. So therefore, disclosure of wrongdoing or confessing the wrongdoing is to say that until now I was stupid, I was silly, I made a lot of mistakes, now I'm going to change. I'm going to become a better person, good person. Okay. So the first thing is, when you develop this wish to remove negative deeds, the first thing is that you need to reveal honestly and truthfully your wrongdoings. The Tibetan word for confession is dikpa shakwa. Shakwa means actually split into pieces, split it open. When you use an axe and then split the log, the wood open, then you see inside, what is there. So like that, you confess means you open out and say, I was stupid, I made this mistake, I don't want to repeat this again. That's what you are saying. So that's called disclosure of wrongdoing. In order to seize that precious, in order to hold that precious mind, in order to cultivate that precious mind, bodhicitta, I offer now to the Tathagatas, to the sacred dharmas, the stainless jewel, and to the disciples of Buddha, the oceans of excellence. So that means, now what you are saying is, I offer now to the Tathagatas. I offer now to the Tathagatas. That is basically saying that in order to cultivate that precious mind of bodhicitta, you need to do 3 processes of purification. Number 1, pure mental attitude. Pure mental attitude means that you should have this pure mind wishing to cultivate that bodhicitta in your mind. That is pure attitude. Second is pure field, pure object. That means the pure field or object that you imagine here is, I offer now to the Tathagatas, the Buddhas, the enlightened beings, the sacred Dharma, the stainless jewel, that means Sangha, And similarly, the Bodhisattvas, the disciples of Buddha, disciples of Bodhisattva means, Sarvakas, and ocean of excellence. Ocean of excellence. The disciple of Buddha, disciple of Buddha means Bodhisattvas. The ocean of excellence means, similarly, among the Bodhisattvas, there are so many categories. The Bodhisattvas who are on the first spiritual ground, second spiritual ground, third spiritual ground, in all the 10 spiritual grounds. In each of these spiritual grounds, different Bodhisattvas have different qualities. If you read at the end of this text called Nagarjuna's Precious Garland, it is mentioned there. And also Chandrakirti's entering the middle way, it is mentioned there. I mean, when they mention the qualities of all these Bodhisattvas, when they reach on different spiritual grounds, it's amazing. How somebody figured that out. If somebody had not developed those realizations, they cannot write these things. When you reach on the first ground, what will be the qualities that you will achieve? When you reach on the second ground, what will be the qualities that you achieve? All these are mentioned in detail. That's really amazing. So when you study Buddhism, there is a level where you can relate yourself to the teaching. Oh, it is common sense. Yes, it is understandable. I agree with that. Then you go deeper and deeper, then you reach a level where you can't really figure out. The question is, how did somebody figure that out and able to explain all these qualities on the different spiritual ground in such an amazing detail? So these great teachers, they're able to explain it because they went through those spiritual paths. It's like somebody, somebody who had been traveling between Delhi and Dharamsala on the road many times. So I went many times. So I know a little bit, from where you have to go. Dharamsala to Kangra. Kangra to Una. Una to Rupnagar. Rupnagar to Chandigarh. Chandigarh to Ambala. Ambala to Delhi, whatever, I went through this so many times. So I mean, still I'm not I don't know the details, but somebody who had went through this several times, they know all the details. Where you should stop, where you should have lunch, all those details. So this clearly shows that this spiritual paths and grounds that we are talking about is not just fantasy, imagination. It is there for all of us to achieve. And there are people who have achieved that already. This is encouraging, you see. This is encouraging. But we need to start from the ground. A little bit stronger compassion, a little bit stronger bodhicitta, and through that we will see, yes, it is possible. I become much better than before. I'm much more compassionate than before. Like that. That is from where we should begin and start. Okay? So, in order to seize that precious mind, I offer now to the Tathagatas, to the sacred the Dharma, the stainless jewel, and to the disciple Buddha, the ocean of excellence. What are you offering? What are you offering? I offer means pure material offerings to these fields of refuge. Pure attitude, pure object, and then pure material offerings. I offer. In order to see this, I offer means I make these offerings which are of pure and good material substances, good quality, branded quality. You offer them what? Branded quality. Branded. I jokingly tell people, and in a way I seriously think about it, Buddhism, the teaching that you get from Buddhism is really, really branded. Because they are originally, they came from Buddha. amazing CEO, right? And he produced these branded things in such a way that this is freely available to everybody. But it is of such a good quality, and not many people are getting access to it, even though it is free. Right? And those that are not free, those that are not very useful, we pay a lot of money saying, oh, this is branded. The same shirt, you pay 5-6 times more because there's this small write-up saying that this is from that company, right? So let us imagine these Buddhist products are coming from a very good company. And this company produces excellent things like bodhicitta, compassion, loving kindness, 6 perfections, so many things, so many things. So we are kind of, are we employees of that company? We should be happy to be voluntarily working in that company and advertise it in a good sense, right? ठीक है ना? So what are you going to offer? First, you will make those offerings which you own, which belong to people. When it comes to offering, number one, we talk about offering because now you have traveled many parts of the world. You have seen many good things, right? You may also have a number of good objects and things at your possession also, whether it's wealth or money or any other article, everything that is necessary and available in the 10 directions in this world, right? Sorry, I'm making a mistake. Yeah, first you are making offering which does not belong to you personally. Like that's what I was saying. When you have traveled around the world, around the globe, you have seen so many beautiful things, right? Beautiful garden with so many beautiful flowers. When you go for an excursion, you scale through the mountains and see those clean rivers running, beautiful flowers, meadows, trees, so many beautiful things. You offer it. You lose nothing, but you mentally offer it. Don't just say, this is so beautiful, not just that. You sit down, make a mandala offering all these things, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. There is a lot of debate in the scripture saying that, can you make such an offering? Is it something that belongs to you? If you offer it, isn't that stealing? There is a debate. But then in the end, it is said that you are part of this family of the world. So you share everything that is there in the world, right? And then also there are many things in the wilderness, in the nature, which not necessarily belong to one individual. So it's kind of common property. And you are actually not destroying it, you are mentally visualizing it. So that's the thing. So it is really, offering is not so much confined to actual material object, but your mental imagination. Yeah.
I thought when we made that kind of offering, we were offering our joy and appreciation of the beautiful thing and not the thing itself. Is that not right?
Both. Material objects that you have imagined, good things that you have done, whatever. All the good things. Okay? So first what he's offering is whatever flowers and fruits there are, whatever flowers, there are so many different types of flowers, I don't need to elaborate on this. And whatever fruits means things that are ready to eat, rice, grains, all those products. And whatever kinds of medicines, there are so many medicines, so many types of medicines. I don't think there is, in the form of plants, in the form of stones, and so many things. And whatever jewels exist in this world, okay, jewels, precious gems, lapis lazuli, vidurya, indranil, so many others, okay? Whatever jewels exist in this world, and whatever clean, refreshing waters. As I mentioned yesterday, in Tibet, we used to have very clean water. In some places, they have the water called the water which has 8 special qualities. 8 special qualities. That means the water is, number one, clear, crystal clear, and it doesn't smell bad. It's very good smell, and very enchanting, attractive to the mind. And if you drink it, it will not harm your stomach or harm your throat, like that. Water mentioned having, and also cool and tasty, and yeah, like that. So similarly, we have the water Ganga, Sindhu in India, Pakshu, Sita, and so forth. So whatever clean water is there, whatever clean, refreshing water is there, you offer it. Similarly, likewise, gem-encrusted mountains, forest groves, quiet and joyful places, heavenly trees bedecked with flowers, and trees with fruit-laden branches, fragrances of the celestial realms, incense, wishing trees and jewel trees, uncultivated harvests, and all ornaments that are worthy of being offered. So we can make those offerings which we can imagine, which we can appreciate. Like we all want jewels, ornaments. We also want scents, perfumes, flowers. So similar like that. And then lakes and pools adorned with lotuses and with beautiful cry of wild geese, everything unowned within the limitless spheres of space, not owned by any one particular individual. You can make all these offerings. Creating these things in my mind, I offer them to the Supreme Beings, the Buddhas, as well as their children, the Bodhisattvas. O compassionate ones, think kindly of me and accept these offerings of mine. Now this is the point. You are not making these offerings because Buddhas are in need of these offerings. But you are making this offering so that you collect merit. You collect merit. And in order to practice giving, in order to make any offerings, you need to have that wish to make the offering, wish to give the things. We are by nature very fond of hoarding and not giving. So therefore some of the texts, they say, I will not talk about the benefits of giving, but I'll talk about the disadvantages of holding. Right? So in order to reduce your stinginess, miserliness, tight-fistedness, you need to learn to make offerings to the higher beings and practice charity and giving to the lower ones, poor people who are in need. Right? It's not easy in the beginning, but gradually it will be easy. Not only easy, if you start practicing that, your life will become cleaner and simpler. Okay? When you go back to your proper home, not here. Here I don't think you have anything to offer. When you go back to your home, then you should check carefully how many things you have stored during the past many years. How many shoes you have, Check that carefully, how many shoes you have and how many legs you have. I mean, when I say shoes, it's just one item, you know. How many shirts you have, how many pants you have, and how many other things you have. And within those huge collections that you have done during the last many years, among those collections, how much you have actually used those things. You will, to your great, to your great, dismay or, uh, finding that you will find that there are many items that you thought you will use one day, but you have never used. If I'm a little bit rude, I can say, why the hell you are keeping this then? So that's what I'm saying. When you make those offerings and practice giving, you are actually cleaning your house. If you don't clean your house, it will be eaten by the moths. It will be consumed by the weather, rain, right? So therefore, it is important to try to lead a simpler, cleaner life. Even in that sense, offering is important. Creating these things in my mind, I offer them. So this is how you practice. Developing that mental strength that I will practice giving, I will make this offering, and without stinginess, you offer it. There's the meaning. Creating these things in my mind means I'm now deciding, I've decided to give it, offer them. To whom? The Buddha, the supreme among human beings, the Buddhas, as well as the Bodhisattvas. O compassionate ones, think kindly of me. So you are saying, I'm making this offering so that I'm able to cultivate bodhicitta. Right? So therefore be kind to me and accept these offerings. Not that you need it, but as a kind of repaying your kindness of what you did to me, your teaching on bodhicitta and things like that. Therefore now I want to cultivate it. So in gratitude I'm making these offerings. Please take this. Please don't say no. Right? Please don't say no. That means you are wholeheartedly making this offering. And accept these offerings of mine. These are the only items that can I offer to you. I'm not a rich man. I have nothing much to offer. That's what he's saying in the next verse. Having no merit, I am destitute, and I have no other gifts to offer. O protectors, you who think of helping others, by your power accept this for my sake. In this verse is saying the reason that I'm making this offering is that I'm somebody who did not practice giving in many past lives. Right? So therefore, I have no merit. If you had practiced giving, making offerings in the past life, then you will be somebody who has a lot of store of merit in this life. But I'm not that one. I'm somebody with little merit. did not do any practice of giving. So therefore, in this life also, I am very stingy. That's what he's saying. In this life also, not only I did not practice giving, but in this life also, I am very stingy. And I have no other gifts to offer. Except this item that I have put in front of you, I have no other items to offer you. Therefore, protector, you who think of helping others. So please include me and accept these offerings. Accept these offerings so that I am able to collect the two merits, purify the two obscurations, and accept this for myself. By your power, accept this for myself. By your power means you are not sitting face to face with Buddha and Bodhisattvas right now, right? But if you have enough capacity of imagination and faith, they have the power to come in front of you. You may or may not see it, that's a different thing. But they have the power, that's what he's saying. You have the power, you have the miracle. So come and accept it. I'm sincerely doing this practice of cultivating bodhicitta. That's what he's saying. By your power, accept this for my sake. So in that way, he is saying that if you have the capacity to make offerings, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are ready to accept it. So therefore, when you make offering, for example, in front of this Buddha statue, don't just think this is the statue. You should imagine as if this is the real Buddha. Right? This is just a reminder. This is just a reminder. And that I think that explanation is also necessary. Once, how many Israelis are here this time? How many? Can you raise your hand? Normally we have a lot of people from Israel. Yeah. Shalom, please put your hand down. so once, when I was working as translator to His Holiness, there was a young Israeli lady. She was very interested, and she asked me, "Can I find somebody to explain me Buddhism, teach me Buddhism?" Then I said, "Yeah, it's wonderful you are interested, but it is not that easy to find somebody to teach you and who can, teach in English. So since you're so interested, I'll help you a few days." So she came, to my room, and then I explained this teaching. She was like writing almost everything I was saying, very, very interested. One morning she came a little bit sad or surprised, saying that I'm a little bit surprised and confused today. I said, why? Because the Tibetans were bowing down before the image. It's like idol worshipping. She probably felt something like that. So can you explain this to me? Yes, I will explain. When you travel around, do you carry your mother or brother or sister's photo in your purse or somewhere? Do you carry? Or in your mobile phone? Please. No, you can't escape. Okay. Then she said, yes, I do. Then I said, you're stupid. What? You're stupid. This photo is not your father, not your mother, not your brother, sister. This is just photo. She said, I know this. But this helps me remember them. I said, exactly. So no person is saying this is the real Buddha. This is a reminder. This cloth is a reminder, Reminder. Right? So what is important is to really think behind that image, what is represented by that image. The actual qualities of Buddha, the actual qualities of Bodhisattvas. Okay? Next is offering your body. Offering your body. Eternally shall I offer all my bodies to the conqueror. Conqueror means Buddha. Buddha is conqueror not because he conquered some land, but he conquered the 4 evil forces. He conquered, he's sometimes called conqueror or victor, because Jina, in Hindi it's called Jina, because he conquered the 4 evil forces. The 4 evil forces are the evil force of negative emotion, the evil force of the psychophysical aggregate, the evil force of death, and then the evil force of the Mara. He conquered all of this. So therefore he is called conqueror, victor. And this also gives a very good meaning, because one who conquers the negative emotions is the real hero. One who conquers land by killing people, that one is not a hero, but actually murderer. Yes, your question.
Just before the list of 4.
First is afflictive emotion, the evil force of negative emotion, evil force of psychophysical aggregate, and then evil force of, what did I say? Huh? Death. Then Mara, yeah. Okay, Mara means is basically actually an evil spirit who may be there also. Mara, evil force, evil, something like a personified kind of ghost or devil, whatever. I don't know which word I should use. Okay, somebody who is actually there harming you. To the conquerors and their children, Bodhisattvas, please accept me, you supreme heroes. Hero, real hero, not those who perform on the stage. Respectfully, shall I be your subject? So offering one's body here means that I will practice what you say. I will use my body to practice those teachings that you taught. That's the meaning. It's not saying that I offer my body, I'll come there and stay with you and serve you and cook for you. Not like that. Okay? Offering. This is the best offering that you can make. Now the meaning is, you are saying, from today onwards, I will offer this body of mine, which is the most highly cherished thing that I have. I will offer this forever to you. That means, until now, because of ignorance, because of self-cherishing attitude, you actually misused your body. You misused your eye when you look at people. You misused your smile, sarcastic smile, politician smile, whatever. You can misuse everything. You misuse your hand, whatever. Now I will use my body properly to serve other sentient beings. Right? That's what the text is saying. Please accept me, you supreme bodhisattvas. Like the supreme bodhisattvas here means, among the bodhisattvas there are some supreme bodhisattvas like Avalokiteshvara, Vajrapani, Manjushri. These are the supreme bodhisattvas, not just. He uses the word hero because it's difficult to translate this word. But actually, when you use the word bodhisattva, in Tibetan we write this in 2 ways. One is, bodhisattva means one who has the bodhicitta. Another is we use another term which is called one who possesses this brave mind, heroic mind. Brave mind means one who is able to cultivate that bodhicitta is really hero. Is brave. We will not be able to say that I will help 10 people, even they're so difficult. The Bodhisattvas are talking about helping all sentient beings, the real hero. Right? Therefore. So, respectfully shall I be your subject. That means I will do whatever you ask me to do. By being completely under your care, so you're under very good care. I shall benefit all with no fears of conditioned existence. I shall perfectly transcend my previous transgressions, and in the future shall commit no one. So that's the commitment that you are making after having offered your body. What you are saying is, now you have completely taken care of me. Therefore, I know I am in the safe hand. Therefore, even if I am in the samsara, I shall benefit all with no fear of conditioned existence. Meaning that since now you have taken good care of me, I am under your protection. So even when I remain in the samsara, conditioned existence means samsara, even in samsara I will have no fear. Fear comes from attachment. Fear comes from negative emotions. Now I am under your protection. I will do what you say. I will not develop any of these negative emotions. So therefore, even in samsara, there is no need for me to have fear. Right? In our life also, like for example, if you say something, do something differently, if there is a duplicity in your life, you will have fear. I said something nice, but I did something wrong. People might have known about this. So your conscience will not let you take rest peacefully. There is a fear. Right? All fear, depression, all these things comes because of negative emotions. Right? Negative emotions. One thing that I'm tempted to speak here is, for example, if you look at the Buddhist approach is very holistic. It takes into account the whole situation of the beings in the samsara. And then they find out what is the root cause of the problem, how to address that root cause. So it's very, very effective. It is not patchwork solution. It is not quick fix solution. These days we live in the modern society, so as a Buddhist practitioners, we are compelled to think about, okay, if somebody says, I'm depressed, what is the Buddhist method to remove depression? You will have difficulty finding one answer, saying that, oh, this is the method to solve your depression. This is the method to increase your, remove your low self-esteem. This is the way to remove your loneliness. There are, solutions, but the real solution you should find from the bigger picture. We are having all these countless problems of depression, loneliness, things like that, because something big went wrong at the foundation. Something big went wrong at the foundation means, as we have been discussing, you develop this self-cherishing attitude. You develop this ignorance, seeing things as having independent existence. So these are the fundamental mistakes that you have made. So long as you hatch this strong self-cherishing attitude, there will be loneliness, there will be depression, there will be arrogance. All these negative emotions will come because of ignorance and self-cherishing attitude. Right? So sometimes it may be useful to try to treat problems case by case, but that's not long-term solution. There's not long-term solution. And if you look at the Tibetan medical system also, it is like that, because it's very much, dependent on the Buddhist teaching. Right? Holistic approach. Whereas in the Western system of treatment is patchwork solution. I'm not criticizing, but this is what I feel. In the name of specialization, if there's a problem with the kidney, just look at the kidney. Cut it, fix it, whatever, just kidney. In the Tibetan system of medicine, kidney is related to many parts of the body. Right? So look at the whole body and also look at your mental state, everything, and then give it treatment. Right? So the Western system of treatment may also be useful, but it is important to have that holistic picture. Okay? If you think a little bit about the teaching of the Four Noble Truths, out of the Four Noble Truths, the first teaching is the truth of the suffering. On that meaning of the truth of suffering, there is a lot to say from the scientific point of view. Because we are talking about sentient beings, we are talking about environment, things like that. But when you go into the next three truths, the origin of suffering, the cessation of suffering, the path leading to the cessation of suffering, there's nothing in science. That's what I'm saying. Right? Okay. I shall benefit all with no fear of conditioned existence. Even if you become enlightened, of course, there will be no problem. But even when you are in the samsara, you will have no fear if you continue to do these practices of generating bodhicitta and removal of self-cherishing attitude and so forth. I shall perfectly transcend my previous transgressions. Now, you are making this commitment by saying, now, having sought your protection, saying that I will do whatever you say, but still, if I don't practice in terms of removing the negative deeds and cultivating the positive deeds, then I am not only a bad practitioner, but I am also a disgrace to you, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Therefore, what I will now do is, I will transgress, meaning I will confess all the negative deeds that I've done before. I shall perfectly transcend my previous transgressions, previous negative deeds. I will transgress it, meaning I will not do it. And in the future shall commit no one. In the future also I will not do. Now here what you did is, think like this. Ignorance, attachment, anger, these are said to be three poisons in Buddhism. Three poisons. So don't do this means don't take poisons. Now if I have in this cup, I bring 2-3 pills of poison, I show it, this is poison, okay, you see it, right? Then I put it here in my cup, in the water. Then I ask you to drink it, will you drink that? Some of you have a lot of faith in me. No, I'm joking. So you will not drink it, right? You will not drink it because you know it is poison. You know it will kill me. Now when we say ignorance, attachment and anger are poison, don't do it, you continue to do it. Why? Because still you are not so sure they are poison. Therefore you need to, what is poison? Something that will destroy you, something that will kill you. So this anger, hatred, attachment, they are going to destroy you. If I don't use the word kill you, they will destroy you 100%. Ignorance, of course, is the root. But because we don't really know in depth the destructiveness of these negative emotions, therefore we say, yes, they are poison, but we'll continue to develop this. So therefore what I'm trying to say is, you need to develop this strong, clear conviction of the destructiveness of these negative emotions, why they are called poison. And similarly, you need to have this in-depth understanding of the positive emotions, why they are medicine, why they are good. It's really, really important. I've already explained a little bit about ignorance, I've explained about attachment, I've explained about anger, right? Okay, so that is what he's saying. For example, in the case of poison, you will never take it. If you had taken, then you will try to quickly remove it by going to hospital, by vomiting it out. So that is like, I shall perfectly transcend my previous transgressions. And in the future shall commit no more. In the future, I will never drink poison. Because I took poison and I nearly died. For example, if you recovered from it, you will say something like this. That is what he's saying. Now you are making some more offerings, mentally imagined offerings. First is offering, giving a bath, and then clothes and so forth. Two very sweetly scented bathing chambers. So imagining all the good things. With brilliantly sparkling crystal floors and exquisite pillars ablaze with gems, with canopies above aglow with pearls. I beseech the Tathagatas and their children to come and bathe their bodies. It's not because they are filthy, but you are imagining for yourself to collect merit. It's not that they have been, they didn't take bath for many, many days. So they need your help to wash them. It's not like that, right? Okay. From many jeweled vases filled with, these are ancient write-ups. So in those days, you have to pour the water, So the pot by which you offer the water is also, decorated with jewels. Many jeweled vessels filled with waters also scented and enticing to the accompaniment of music and song. That is what you do yourself when you wash. Sometimes while you're, washing your body, you are playing music around, right? So something like that. So you try your best to offer the best. And then having bathed, you give them towels. These are very common sense. Let me dry their bodies with incomparable clothes, clean and well anointed with scent. And then may I present these holy beings with fragrant garments and suitable collars. I think there's not much need to explain these things. So one thing that is important here is, for example, whatever visualizations that you are making, you visualize that in such a way that you are doing a perfect job. Okay? Even when you are pouring the water, it is not that you bring one pot filled completely to the brim with water and then just throw it like that. You gently pour the water and whatever. Okay? So therefore, normally you see these rings of balls with water offered there in front. This is a tradition that came from India. India being hot climate country, when a important guest comes, the first thing that they do is they give one water to wash the feet, which is a very good tradition. Wash the feet. Oh, sorry, no. To drink water quickly, just some water to drink, and then some water to wash the feet. Then next is, once inside, you offer flowers, flower garland, or there's a flower on the table. And then some incense. You don't invite your guest in a smelly room. So you have incense, fragrances. And then you don't invite your guest in a dark room with no light. So therefore lamp. And then scent. And then of course you don't just give him water and have light and no food. So then next food. And then after that, if possible, some musical instruments. songs and dances. If you see some of the old Indian documentaries, they do all this exactly to a king, important guest. So when like how you serve the king, so when you have an important guest like the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, you do your best to make these offerings. Okay, this is how you make those offerings. So if you are not able to put the flour and all those food and everything, then you just put water and make sure that water is very pure, very clean. And the advantage of making water offering is that you don't develop stinginess. It's pure offering. Instead of water, if you offer milk, some other things, and then when it is your time to make the tea, if you are shortage of water, then you might think about taking down that milk that you offered already. So still there is, grasping, stinginess, right? Okay. I adorn with manifold ornaments and various raiments, fine and smooth, the Arya Samanta Bhadra, Manjukosha, and Avalokiteshvara, and all the others. So these bodhisattvas, Samanta Bhadra, Manjukosha, Avalokiteshvara, many times they appear in the form of a layperson. So therefore you make these offerings of, various raiments and ornaments, things like that. Just like polishing pure refined gold, I anoint the Buddha's forms, Buddha's image. That is what we do. You put refined gold, which ablaze with light, with the choicest perfumes, whose fragrance permeates 1,000,000,000 worlds. So you make offerings of cloth, which is relevant to the different Buddhas. Like as I said, for the Buddha, because he is a monk, then the cloth that you offer should be either blue or red or saffron. 3 colors are permitted, like this one. This is blue, then maroon, then saffron, right? 3 colors are permitted. There is a specific reason, because in those days, these colors are seen as lackluster colors. Ordinary people are not very interested in these colors. So these colors are supposed to reduce attachment. Nowadays they are very attractive. Things change, Okay. Like even shaving the hair is to reduce attachment. Now it has become a fashion. Here also we'll see some people without hair like me, right? Yeah, that is not because they need it, but you make the best offering that you can imagine. Okay. Yeah. And to the highest objects of giving, I offer beautiful, well-arranged garlands, flower garlands, as well as enchanting, sweet-smelling flowers, such as lilies, jasmines, and lotus blooms. Also, I send forth clouds of incense, whose sweet aroma steals away the mind, as well as celestial delicacies, including a variety of foods and drinks. I offer them jeweled lamps arranged on golden lotus buds. Upon land sprinkled with scented water, I scatter delicate flower petals. To those who have the nature of compassion, I offer places resounding with melodious hymns, exquisitely illuminated by hanging pearls and gems that adorn the infinites of space. Eternally shall I offer to all the Buddhas jeweled umbrellas with golden handles and exquisite ornaments embellished to the rims, standing erect, and their shapes beautiful to behold. So you make all this different, you imagine, visualize, and make all these different types of offerings, so that gradually you are able to become enlightened and get all the major and minor signs of Buddha. For example, Buddha has 32 major signs and 80 minor signs, which is different from ordinary people, right? So in order to actualize all that, you make all these different offerings also, okay? In addition, may a mass of offerings resounding with sweet and pleasing music, like clouds that appease the misery of all, each remaining for as long as necessary. And may a continuous rain of flowers and precious gems descend upon the reliquaries and the statues, and upon all the jewels of Dharma. In the same way as Manju Gosha and others have made offerings to the conquerors, similarly do I bestow gifts upon the Tathagatas, the protectors, and their children and all. So, by making such offerings, you should think, for example, when you make the offering of like the umbrella, then you should think, by making this offering of the umbrella, may myself and all other sentient beings be protected from the heat of negative existence and from the heat of samsara. And may we be under the shadow of the umbrella-like protection of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay? But in the case of the writer of this text, Shantideva, he's a simple yogi. He's not fond of making this elaborate offerings. Okay? So that's different. But in our case, we are not such highly advanced yogi, so we can make all these offerings. Even if you imagine making these offerings for a moment, that's good enough. And may a continuous rain, I read all this. In the same way as Manjukusha and, okay, this I also read. I glorify the oceans of excellence with limitless verses of harmonious praises. Praises. When we pray, some people ask the question, why Buddhists pray? Why Buddhists pray? Buddhists don't believe in a creator God. Why Buddhists pray? To whom you are praying? So praying basically means you're expressing a wish. You are praising the good qualities, great qualities of Buddha and other enlightened beings. You are not simply asking something. You are praising their good qualities, and you are saying that you have all these good qualities, I'm going to emulate them, I'm going to develop these great qualities myself. You're expressing your wish, expression. Okay. Praise. May these clouds of gentle eulogy constantly ascend to their presence. So in this way, you made all these offerings through prayer. You made these unsurprising offerings, and also you made these offerings through singing and praises. Okay. Then next is Next is the practice of paying homage. With bodies as numerous as all the atoms within the universe, I prostrate to all the Buddhas of the three times, the Dharma and Supreme Community, Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. Okay. Now when you prostrate also, you don't have to think that this is just one body which is prostrating. You can imagine that when you are prostrating, you can imagine there are hundreds and thousands of bodies prostrating at the same time. So that's a very beautiful way of collecting greater merit. Okay. Now when you prostrate, there is half-length prostration and full-length prostration. And there is also prostration called, which is like a tree falling down. I've seen this once. There was one yogi who came to receive His Holiness teaching, so he just fell down like a tree being chopped down. You know, he was a very senior in age. So there are people who are devoted who do this. Otherwise, you do full-length prostration, which is actually not only good in Dharma practice, but also very good exercise. Okay? So if you have a bigger body, you gain greater merit. Yeah. And so when you do mostly we do the half-length prostration, where you should make sure that your forehead touches the ground, your two palms touches the ground, and your two knees touches the ground. These 5 parts of the body touching the ground leaves an imprint to actualize the 5 spiritual paths of the Buddha and things like that. But basically, as I said earlier, this is to show your humility and your readiness to receive the higher qualities. Okay? It's an antidote to arrogance. Likewise, I prostrate to all the reliquaries. That means I prostrate to the reliquaries means stupas. I prostrate to all the reliquaries means stupas, which represents Buddha's mind, and to the basis of awakening mind. To the basis of awakening mind means the bodies of the Buddha. Similarly, the Mahayana sutras or the sacred places of the Buddha, the place where he got enlightened, where he was born, where he turned the wheel of Dharma. So in those places, these are the bases where you can cultivate bodhicitta. Because of the sacredness of those places, in those places, if you practice, it is much more effective. Okay? Because these places are kind of charged places. There are places which are negatively charged. If it is a place where so many killings have been done, you can feel that negative vibration. In India, in the beginning, in many places, during the British rule, there were so many fighting and killing. So we know many places where people had difficulty sleeping, People used to hear, people shouting, fighting, even at the place where His Holiness is living right now. This place was very hostile in the beginning. So there are many places like that, which has negative vibration. So similarly, there are places which have positive vibration. So these are the places, basis for awakening mind. That's the meaning. Similarly, to all learned abbots and masters who had given you the vows of Bodhisattva, who had given you the vows of a bhikshu, who have given you the vows of a novice monk or novice nun, or who have given you teachings, okay? To all learned abbots and masters, and to all the noble practitioners. Even in a very ordinary form, if somebody is a very kind-hearted, good practitioner, that person is worthy of paying respect, worthy of paying homage. In whatever manner he or she appears and looks, doesn't matter, right? Even if somebody is in a monk's robe, but his behavior is not good, then no need to pay much attention. You know? So recognize good people as good, bad people as bad. Okay. To seek refuge in all the Buddhas until I possess the essence of awakening, that's bodhicitta. I seek refuge in Dharma and in the assembly of Buddha. This is making a big statement. I seek refuge in all the Buddhas until I possess the essence of awakening. That means until I develop bodhicitta. In other words, until I become Buddha, I will take refuge in Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. Right? With folded hands, with folded hands. Now with folded hand, when you say with folded hand, here you actually visualize the object in front of which you are confessing. You imagine that Buddha is there in front of you, and you are kneeling down in front of that Buddha's image. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who possess the great compassion and reside in all directions. So what you are confessing now is, throughout beginningless cyclic existence in this life and others, unknowingly, I didn't want to do all these bad things, but I was ignorant. Unknowingly, I committed transgressions and ordered them to be done by others. Not only I did bad things, but I also instigated others to do bad things because of ignorance, because of lack of knowledge. Now today, I gained some knowledge. Now I'm going to stop it. Right? So this is what you are saying. So therefore, now what you have to do is, when negative emotions are arising in you, you need to tell them, you need to personify them, and you need to tell them, gone are the days when you fooled me, you stupid anger, you stupid attachment, and so forth, a bunch of negative emotions. I didn't use the worst word, okay? I'm tempted to use the worst word. You stupid, self-centered, negative emotions. Gone are the days when you befooled me. Now I know who you are. There is now no room for you. Because now your boss is, who are your two bosses, which I explained yesterday? Bodhicitta and wisdom, understanding, emptiness. Right? Right? So now you have a guard present there 24 hours. Mindfulness, conscientiousness, heedfulness, they're all there. Very good security guard. Now they are checking the I card, identity card. And then if it belongs to the negative emotion, then say, no, sorry. Gone are the days when you cheated me. Now I know who you are. Get lost. Now the identity card holder is compassion, loving kindness. Then you should say, oh, come, please welcome, please welcome. I'm sorry, I did not treat you so nicely before. Now I know who you are. Please come, meet our bosses, and have a nice cup of tea. So how we develop negative, how we remove negative emotions and how we cultivate positive emotions is similar to how we make friendship with other people. You know, when you meet somebody, in the first few days that somebody looks very nice, but when you spend more time, that seemingly nice person turns out to be very negative, very destructive, very bad. Then you distance yourself from that person. There may be another person who didn't look so nice in the beginning, but turns out to be a good fellow, which you can trust. Then your friendship become closer and closer. So now when we talk about Dharma practice, it is making very close friendship with positive emotions and distancing yourself from the negative emotions. Okay? Throughout beginningless cyclic existence in this life and others, unknowingly, you committed all these wrong things because of ignorance. So therefore what the text is saying is, now if you want to really improve and change, you need to gain knowledge. Wisdom, understanding, emptiness and so forth. Knowledge will come through study, not through blind faith. All of us have big presence of blind faith. Right? So what we need to do is use our brain, use our intelligence, and study, ask questions, get answers, and then practice it. So therefore we need to listen. First of all, we need to think, then first we need to listen, then think, then meditate. This threefold process of Buddhist study is important. Listening, thinking, meditation. I always give this example which I read in a mind training book. If you are somebody who is very thirsty, looking for water, and have no idea where water is available, then what will you do? You ask somebody where water is available. Then you hear from that person water is available 2 kilometers from here in Meglorganj or whatever. So that is good. Now at least you know where water is available, right? So thinking is important, sorry, listening is important. But does that quench your thirst? Huh? No. So what you need to do? You need to take this jar number bus. Jar number bus, you know, two legs. Sorry, I'm joking. So you need to walk 2 kilometers or take a taxi, whatever. Walk 2 kilometers. So thinking is like that. You walk 2 kilometers, then you come to the place where water is available. It's a big development. So after listening to the teaching, having listened to the teaching, simply having listened to the teaching is not enough. Having listened to the teaching, you need to think yourself whether that teaching makes sense or not. Use your common sense. And if you found that teaching really makes sense based on your reasoning, your thinking, then you are able to develop conviction. Yes, this teaching is true, this teaching is important. So it's like reaching near the water. You made already big progress. But still you have not drunk water. You are standing in front of the water, made big progress, but no stupid person will say, ha, I made it, I'm near the water, and then turn around and not drink water. Nobody will do that, right? So your thirst will go away only when you drink water. So similarly, listening was wonderful, thinking was wonderful, you develop great conviction, but still that practice has not become a part of your life because you have not meditated. Meditated means get habituated with that new knowledge. Make it part of your life. Make it part of your thinking process. Meditation means not sitting in a corner, closing your eye. Meditation means getting habituated. Until now, we are very strongly habituated with the negative emotions, but not with positive emotions. Now we need to get habituated. When somebody says compassion, you should know what is compassion. You should have that feeling within yourself, right? Very just like your knowledge of water. When you hear the word water, is it very clear to you? Because you listened to it before from many people. You thought about it, used it for drinking, for washing, for cleaning. So you know everything about water. It's very clear. Now when I say compassion, is it very clear to you like water? Compassion क्या है? कौन सा चिड़िया का नाम है? Huh? You might start thinking, is this name of a bird or something? Compassion, what is it? You're not so clear. So that means you need to get habituated with it. And then when we talk about meditating on compassion, we are not placing compassion somewhere as an object and then focusing on it. No. Meditation on compassion means making your mind become compassionate. Making your mind compassionate. Okay? Overwhelmed by the deception of ignorance, I rejoice in what was done. But now seeing these mistakes, from my heart I confess them to the Buddhas. The deed of negative work can be purified. The good news with doing negative deed is that they can be purified. They can be removed. So the first way of removing that negative deed is regret, as we read in verse 28. Throughout the beginningless cycle of existence in this life and others, unknowingly I committed transgression and also instigated others to do so. Right? So you are in front of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, you are confessing your negative deeds, and then now you are saying that I will not repeat this again. Overwhelmed by the deception of ignorance, I rejoiced in what was done. But now seeing these mistakes from my heart, I confess them to the Buddhas. If you are somebody who is really concerned about purifying the negative deeds, the best way of purifying it is confessing it, regretting it. Okay? Whatever harmful acts of body, speech and mind I have done in a disturbed and mental state, in a disturbed mental state. In a disturbed mental state means, yes, and when you develop negative emotions, your mind gets disturbed. Definition of negative emotion is any mind which when arises makes you completely disturbed and perturbed, that is a negative emotion. That's negative emotion. Okay? All the grave wrongs done by me, so thoroughly vile and polluted, with an abundance of faults, I openly declare to the guides of the world. But I may well perish. See why he is saying this? And he is saying this because if I don't purify my negative deeds quickly, I may die before I am able to purify them, before I am able to confess them. So therefore, you should not live with those negative deeds. You should not, sometimes we use the expression, you should not sleep with those negative deeds. Meaning that you do something negative and then sleep without regret, without confession. That's not good. You may not be able to purify it. Okay? So that's why this great Indian teacher, Atisha, he always used to bring a stupa with him. So whenever he realized that he committed a mistake, he would immediately get up and prostrate before the stupa and purify it. Right? So in our case also we can do that. If you are Buddhist, then you can carry some scriptures like the Heart Sutra or a small Buddha statue and a small stupa. These three things, which remembers the Buddha's body, speech, and mind. You can carry these things with you. And that way your shrine is there with you wherever you go. Right? That's very, very important. We always need reminders, constant reminders. Okay. But I may well perish before all my transgressions have been purified. So please protect me in such a way as will swiftly and surely free me from them. Now, if you die before purifying these negative deeds, then you will go into negative state of existence where you may have to encounter a lot of sufferings and problems. So therefore you are saying, so please protect me in such a way as will swiftly and surely free me from them. I mean, in an urgent situation, it's like a criminal who had committed some criminal acts, and now that person is full of fear. Then you go to somebody, I unknowingly made this mistake, did this criminal work. So please protect me from the police, from the law. That's what you are saying. Urgent, it's very urgent. As far as death is concerned, the untrustworthy Lord of Death waits not for things to be done or undone. Whether I am sick or healthy, this fleeting lifespan is unstable. That the Lord of Death or death will never see whether you have finished your project or not. It will never say, let me know when you finish your project, I'll come and take you. It can come at the right time anywhere. There's no place where you can hide yourself. Once there was a person, it's a small story, at the marketplace he was going around. Then somebody tapped him from behind and looked around. He found the messenger of death. He was terrified. And then the messenger of death said, no, it's not you who I'm looking for today. Your turn is next Monday. Next Monday. I'm looking for somebody else right now. He said, okay, at least I have 1 week. So he ran away from the marketplace and went into the mountain, hid himself in a cave for almost 1 week, 6 days. He hid himself in the cave. Then on the 7th morning, Monday morning, he thought, now there's nobody, So it's okay. He just came out and craned his neck and did some stretching exercise. Okay, bright sunshine, wonderful. Then somebody out of the blue tapped him from the back. He looked with a great surprise and astonishment. How did you figure out that I'm here? And then the messenger of death said, don't get surprised. I'm more surprised than you, because the Lord of Death asked me to pick you from here. But the last time I saw you in the marketplace. So the point is, you can, the death will come and take you. One of my classmates, when I was a student in an ordinary school, morning we were doing jogging exercise. And one of my classmates, a very healthy girl, she just slipped and fell down and died there on the spot. This happens, So there's no certainty. There's no certainty. Death is definite. Time of death is indefinite. The only thing that will help you at the time of death is your spiritual practice, nothing else. That is the point. The untrustworthy Lord of Death waits not for things to be done or undone, or whether you are sick or healthy. This fleeting lifespan is unstable. Death basically means when you breathe out and could not breathe in, that is death. Not very far. Not very far, okay? And when you die, leaving all, I must depart alone. You can't take your things. You can't even take your MasterCard, Visa or whatever. Huh? I must depart alone. When you came into this world, at least you came with your body. But when you go, there is a tight security check. So they will tell you, leave your body behind. You may be hiding something there. So you have to leave your body also behind. I must depart alone, yet through not having understood this, I committed various kinds of wrongdoing for the sake of my friends and foes. This is amazing, you know. This is what he's saying. If you had understood the meaning of impermanence, if you had understood the meaning of death right in the beginning, you may not have committed many of these stupid, silly, negative deeds. It is because you did not understand this impermanence. Therefore, you committed all negative things for yourself, for your relatives, for other people, things like that. But the result of having committed such negative deed is you may have committed that negative deed for the benefit of your parents, for your relatives. But only you will have your parents who enjoy it, your health, cannot share that. Once they were used to go to the mountain, many to hunt animals, deers, and so one spiritual master, Lama, said that this is very sinful, you are killing animals, this is not good, stop it. He said, no, I'm not doing just for me, I'm doing this for my family. So when I die, the negative consequences of whatever result, they will also share. Then the Lama said, don't be stupid, if you don't want to listen to me, at least ask your wife whether she can share it or not. So he went home and asked his wife, this is what the Lama said, but I know you love me, so you will share some of my negative consequences. And then the wife, so when you die, my foes will become nothing. Your enemy will also die. My friends will also become nothing. They will also die. I too will become nothing. I will also die. Likewise, all will become nothing. Everybody will die. Just like a dream experience, whatever things I enjoy will become a memory. Whatever has passed will not be seen again. This is so beautiful. So beautiful. For example, if you are today 30 or 40, if your age is like today 30 or 40, you can make a long, very long movie out of that 30 years life's experience. If you make a movie, it has like so many scenes. But it's a long story. But today, if you reflect back and try to reflect or remember some of those things that you did in the past 30, 40 years, it's just a memory. It is almost similar to the experience that you had yesterday or last night. Both are just a memory. Right? This is what he's saying. Just like a dream experience, whatever things I enjoy will become a memory. Whatever has passed will not be seen again. Your friends, relatives, whatever that you have seen, now you will not see them again. Even within this brief life, many friends and foes have passed, means died. We all have that experience. You can count it during the COVID and during the last few years, how many people that died. And why do you think you are exception? That you will continue to stay forever? Why do you think you are exception? Right? When you see people dying around, you should also know next may be my turn. That is not to unnecessarily frighten you, but to provoke you into Dharma practice. Again, I'll tell you another story of a human being making friendship with a ghost. So that ghost had some clairvoyance. So this human friend requests this ghost that since you have clairvoyance, I need your help. The ghost said, in what way can I help you? Then the human friend said, I'm a little bit scared of death, but I also want to enjoy life. So I want to enjoy my life. When the death is about to come, you tell me, then I'll dedicate my life for practice. So tell me a little bit in advance, but before that I want to enjoy. This is how we think, right? So the ghost said, okay, fine, no problem. So this human being like us, he continued his, pleasure-seeking activities, enjoying this, that, and so forth. So one day the ghost came and said, my dear friend, last night one member of the family down there died. Then this human friend, he said, oh, so sorry. Oh, mani pe mein hu. So sorry. Oh, mani pe mein hu, But he did not still think he will die. Then time passed. He continued to enjoy, lead the normal life. Ha, he, who, whatever. Right? Then again the ghost came and said, my dear friend, last night again one member of the family up there died. The stupid human being, he again said, oh, so sorry, oh, mani pe mein hu, oh, mani pe mein hu, whatever, make some offerings, whatever. Then he again continued to enjoy his life. Then one day the ghost came and said, my dear friend, it is your turn to go. It is your turn to go. Then this human friend, he said, how come? You're telling it to me now. I told you to tell me a little bit in advance. This ghost said, I've never seen or met a person so stupid like you. I told you 2 times. When I said that member of the family down died, member of the family up died, you should have at least that sense and intelligence that your turn will come anytime. So this is like that, We feel sorry, somebody died up, somebody died down, but it hardly occurs to us, it will be my turn. Right? So therefore, recollection of impermanence and death is not to unnecessarily frighten you, but it is to really provoke you, help you do Dharma practice. As is said in the text, if you don't remember death, you will not remember Dharma practice. Even if you remember, you will not practice. Even if you practice, you will not practice wholeheartedly. It's only when you are on your deathbed, when you are hospitalized. Do you have that experience? When you got sick and hospitalized or at least you are sick, then you think about doing good things. But unfortunately, our memory is short. When you we get well again, then you forget. Right? So therefore, for many of these Buddhist practitioners, they say that these challenges, these misfortunes that we encounter are actually good. Misfortunes are your spiritual teacher. Sufferings are the ways to purify your negative deeds. So when this come, don't feel unhappy. Don't feel unhappy. You will actually learn not just listening to teaching. You will really learn when you face challenges, difficulties, when you get sick. Then hopefully there will be some transformation, some change. Because now you are experiencing the bitter truth. Unless that happens, unfortunately, the teachings don't make much effect. Suddenly when your very beloved husband dies, wife dies, brother dies, then you come back to senses, at least for some time. Right? So this misfortunes, challenges, They are introduction to happiness. Sufferings are introduction to happiness. So you should embrace them, enjoy them, learn from them. Okay? Don't see them as discouraging factors. Thereby, through not having realized that I shall suddenly vanish, I committed so much wrong out of ignorance, lust and hate. These are three poisons. Ignorance, lust and hate. Lust and hate. Attachment and anger. These are the two dominant qualities that we human beings have. And we think that if you engage in attachment and anger or hatred, then life is colorful. If you are without it, life is colorless. You watch any movie, in fact, most of the movies, Indian movie, American movie, the two of the dominant sins in those movies is sex and violence. If they are there, the movie is gripping, wonderful. If it's not there, slow movie, as we say. There's nothing much there. So this is a depiction of our life. But you need to understand that this, when you engage in this negative deeds, it may for a while look colorful, but it is very destructive. But if you lead a little bit colorless life, where there's less attachment, less anger, it may be not so colorful, but it will be stable. The so-called colorful life has so much ups and downs, right? So therefore, it is important to see, I committed so much wrong out of ignorance. Lust and hate is there because of ignorance. Remaining neither day nor night, life is always slipping away. Now when we talk about doing Dharma practice, we are thinking, when should I do Dharma practice? Many of you might be thinking, I'll do Dharma practice when I get retired from my work. Or I'll do Dharma practice when I come to Dharamsala or some other place for 1 week, 2 weeks, things like that. Right? And there's no guarantee you will even make that. And while remaining in that distracted form, the life is slipping away. This reminded me the scolding by one Tibetan teacher who one day asked his student, are you studying? Are you practicing Dharma? The student said, yes sir, I'm practicing. He said, don't tell me lie, because I saw you sleeping the whole night and I saw you getting distracted the whole day. So when do you get Dharma practice? Time to do Dharma practice. So in our case, night, of course, we sleep. If you are not sleeping in the night, then obviously you are sleeping in the day. Right? And then distraction means food, washing, clothing, doing this, going for a walk, this, that. How many hours are there for doing Dharma practice? And these days, for example, in my case, I have not much sense of time. The time is going so quick. I thought the year has just started. It's already April, you see. Going so quick. Remaining neither day nor night. Remaining means stopping neither day nor night. Life is always ebbing out, slipping by, and never getting any longer. Can you prolong your life? You receive long life initiation. It may help you a little bit. You take all the vitamins possible. You may be able to prolong it a little bit. Just this morning I read an article where it says, try as much as possible, try as much as you can, but there's no possibility to extend your life over 150 years. The people who lived the longest is 121 years or something like that. Not possible. You take, and someone else said, take good food, healthy food, do exercise, anyway die. Anyway die. The wearing and tearing takes place. Anyway, right? So therefore, seize the time. Whenever you get the opportunity, practice. And never getting any longer, that's the meaning. Even if you are able to prolong your life a little bit, then you're too old to study anything, right? Why would death not come to one like me? That's the point. When death is coming to everybody, why will it not come to me? Meaning it will come definitely on me also. So when death comes, don't get shocked. But I'm not trying to frighten you. I'm simply trying to say that properly understood, there is no need to fear death. Okay? Right now you fear death. Why? Because you are obsessed with this body. You are clinging to this so-called I. Now we already studied about the meaning of emptiness. There is nothing that has concrete, independent existence. So in the case of your body, in the case of yourself, I or mind, there's nothing that has independent existence. So what is it towards which you are developing this grasping?
Fear of pain.
Huh?
Fear of pain.
Your pain.
Fear of pain.
Fear of pain. Fear is a conception. Fear arises, as I said, because of negative emotions, attachment and so forth. Pain also, pain is pain, it is there, but depends upon your mental attitude. For some people, there will be no pain. I know one practitioner, there are many practitioners, some very senior lamas, I know them. One of them developed a tumor somewhere, I think, big tumor. So obviously he is having a lot of pain, but he was one of the Gandhi throne holder, very senior, very good monk. So his students told me that he never says, I'm having pain in front of these other people. He didn't want to create any problem to them. But when he sees a doctor, he says, oh, there's an excruciating pain, please do something. How he is able to tolerate this? And then I'll tell you another story. Another senior abbot from Depung Losaling Monastery. We spent some time together in New Delhi. He was already having cancer. He was diagnosed having cancer in America. He had a number of students there. So once His Holiness the Dalai Lama was visiting there, then he went to see His Holiness and told His Holiness that he is having cancer. Then His Holiness said, come to India for treatment. Then his Western student, American student said, implored His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness, in America we have much better treatment than in India. And in America, the doctors already said he is going to live maximum 3 months only. So please, Your Holiness, don't say this. Then this teacher, he said, you stupid. His Holiness knows better than you. So anyway, he listened to His Holiness, came back to India and spent 1 year in Dharamsala. He did not die in 3 months. Spent 1 year in Dharamsala. And then at one point, he felt there is something that is obstructing me, I should maybe undergo an operation. So he told this to His Holiness. His Holiness did some divination, said, go, do the operation. So during the operation, half of his stomach was cut. But after this, still he was able to eat as before. And his student, senior student, he was also a Geshe, I know him. He said, Rinpoche, you cannot eat like this. as you used to eat before. Half of your stomach is already cut. You don't realize this. Then Rinpoche used to say, I'm able to eat, so I'm eating. Then after a while said, now I should not be wasting my time here. I should go back to South India and start teaching. He went back. I don't know, I don't remember exactly how long he was there. Then suddenly his cancer, spread all over his body, all over his body. Then he was quickly brought to Delhi in a flight. And then in the night, there's many stories like that. These are not fabricated stories, they are actual stories. So in that night, two very interesting things happened. In that night when he was sleeping, then suddenly at 2 p.m. he woke up. He called all his disciples. Some of senior students were also there. Some senior lamas were also there. He called them. Then he said, okay, I'm ready to go. I have not taken any loan from anybody. I don't have to pay anything to anybody. I'm ready to go. And you help me turn the direction of my head, the bed, so turn to certain direction. Then one of his senior student, he wept and requested Rinpoche, please, we expect your reincarnation. And he scolded them like anything. I have no reincarnation. I'm a simple Buddhist monk, no reincarnation. After I am gone, if you pick up some random child and call them my reincarnation, that is the greatest disgrace that you can do to me. And he passed away peacefully. And at that time, another important thing was, at that time there were around 20 or 16 or 20 monks from Upper Tantric College who were going for a tour in the American or some Western countries. So they are ready there, as if they were invited to bid farewell to this teacher. So next day they all came and did all the Guha Samaja prayers, things like that. So there are people like that which I've seen, and then nowadays it has recently become very common. Some of the senior teachers, after death, they are remaining in that meditative state for 10 days, 16 days, 17 days. And this is actual happening, not just made up, right? So that means when you gain control over your mind, you can pass peacefully. That's the point that I'm making. Death is just changing clothes. You leave the body, but there is no death to the mind. So if your mind is well attuned, trained, then there is no fear. This body now getting old, ugly, just like the snakes throw their skin out, So there's nothing to be feared, but it is to be understood. So many of the fear, sufferings, and problems that we experience are due to lack of knowledge. Okay. Now, when you experience the death, nobody can help you. That's what he's saying. While I'm lying in bed, although surrounded by my friends and relatives, the feeling of life being severed will be experienced by me alone. No one can share that. The separation of your body from the mind. If there is a pain, suffering, it's only you who has to experience. When seized by the messengers of death, what benefit will friends and relatives afford? What benefits can they give? Nothing. They will only howl and shout and cry. It will actually disturb your mind. They are not in a position to help you. My merit alone shall protect me. My spiritual practice alone shall protect me then. But upon that I have never relied. That means whole life you have relied on your relatives and family members. You have not cultivated merit. But the fact is, when you die, none of your relatives and friends can help you. The only thing that can help you is your merit, your spiritual practices, which you have not done. Now you are regretting. The only thing that is reliable, I have not relied upon it. And those which are not reliable, I have relied upon it. So that's why in this context, I'm tempted to say that much of the problem in the world today is not being able to live alone. Two problems. Much of the problems that we experience in the world is neither being able to live alone nor being able to live with others. You should be good at least in one of these two. Living with others, knowing how to live with others means with love, with harmony, with kindness, with patience, with compassion. Live it harmoniously, happily with others. Don't try to change everybody like you. That's our problem, you see. We try to change everything in accordance with our wish. The tree should also grow in accordance with my wish. The sun should also shine in accordance with my wish. My wife should also act in accordance with my wish. This is the problem, you see. So here what you need to know is there are things that you can control, there are things you can't control. With the things that you can't control, the way to respond to those things which you can't control is changing your attitude, not trying to change those others which you can't control, but changing your response, how you react, right? So if you don't know how to live with others, then live alone. That we don't know. And the result of not knowing how to live alone, we have seen very clearly during the COVID, especially in the more developed Western countries. People hardly live alone. I mean, generally speaking, they always eat outside, socializing, partying, you know. Then suddenly Master COVID says, stay in the room, lockdown. Now people suddenly, they are living alone, you know. How can I live alone? We also had experienced COVID, but we never suffered from loneliness. At least I never suffered from loneliness. For me, it was a great opportunity to reread all these texts and teachings, compile notes, translate books, things like that. Nobody disturbing, wonderful. But then there are many, unfortunately, there are many others who really, when they're asked to live alone, they really don't know how to live alone. Because they have never been in touch with themselves. They are in touch with others, but never been in touch with others. So Buddhist practice means also keeping in touch with yourself. The way to keep in touch with yourself is not internet, not mobile phone, but internal reflection. Internal reflection. And when you reflect within yourself, explore all the possibilities, cultivate all the positive emotions, you will find all the resources within yourself to deal with all the problems that we encounter internally and externally. The problem, the way to solve this problem is found within yourself, not outside. Not outside. Right? Solitude is important. Solitude is different from loneliness. It is by remaining in solitude that Buddha got enlightened. It is by remaining in solitude, many scientists, they made huge, amazing discoveries. Right? So you learn so many things by remaining. So therefore, occasionally learn to live alone, go within yourself, meditate, practice, reflect. What is meaning of human life? What is meaning of happiness? Things like that, okay? That's very important. Because, this is important, because when seized by the messengers of death, what benefit will friends and relatives afford? Not much. My merit alone shall protect me then, but upon that I have never relied. O protectors, I so unconcerned, unaware of such terror as this when the death comes. Death is very powerful because it is the summary of your life. It's the sum total of your life. You know, when you do the accounting, then you count all those numbers, then finally, okay, this is the sum total. Okay, so death is summary of life, so it's very impactful. Unaware of such terror as this, accumulated a great deal of negative action for the sake of this transient life. Look at this. You did all these negative deeds for this transient life. If you committed all these negative deeds for a long, long life, if you are able to enjoy all these negative funds for a long, long life, then at least there is some reason, right? So that's why I said this morning, then don't earn a very strong negative consequence by enjoying their 5 minutes pleasure for the sake of this transient life. Okay, a few questions, 1 or 2 questions maybe. Mm-hmm.
Since we spoke of death, and death is also a release from body limitations. And on the other hand, we see pujas and prayers for Lama Zopa Rinpoche's rebirth. Wouldn't that be his personal choice of free will and a selfish way to invite back a quick rebirth?
Now, Lama Zopa, for example, who he is, we can't say, but generally we believe he's a great practitioner, a great individual, of course. So therefore, such people, we think, can come back out of their wish, not through the force of negative karma or afflictive emotions. So therefore, these people are really worthy coming back to help many other sentient beings. So therefore, his followers also, in order to, improve that merit, to be able to receive him back, we do these prayers also. But at the end of the day, how oneself will fare is dependent upon what they have been doing throughout their life, not just the prayers others do. It will help a little bit, but not much. But again, just like this offering of flowers and so forth to the Buddhas, so that we are able to collect merit, right? It may not have big impact, but having said that, sometimes, when the right causes and conditions, nothing comes out of one cause and one condition, things come out due to many causes and conditions. So these prayers and wishes may become one contributing cause. Okay?
I understand our need to do the prayers, but for Lama, it could be a liberation, right? And we are then inviting back into bodily limitations.
No. Liberation may be, but for I mean, in general, I'm speaking. For example, somebody who is highly realized, whether he is the body or not the body, that doesn't make any difference to him. He is liberated. Liberation is of the mind and not of the body. Okay? So even when he comes back into the samsara, he will look like you and me, like his soul in the Dalai Lama also looks like you and me, but mentally he is not like you and me. He's liberated. So it's not within the bondage of the samsara, even though that is why we give the example of lotus flower, born from the mud, but not sullied by the mud. Right? Yeah.
In one book I read, Melarapa said, my religion is to live and die without regret.
Yeah.
So, क्या हम ऐसे जैसे हम जो नॉर्मल लोग हैं, we are normal
Say it
human
in
beings.
English. Say it in English.
can we know, how can we know that we are leaving our body without regret? There is no regression, or we live such a
That
good
is not so
life.
difficult. For example, if you are sure that you have not done anything that you have to regret, then why should you have regret? Right? And if you've done something that is regrettable, try as much as you can to hide it, that you have nothing to regret, but you will have to regret. Because at the time of the death, the force is so much that you have a very, very clear, vivid understanding of what is right and what is wrong. And when you realize you have done wrong things, then there's nothing left but to regret. It will come automatically. Right? It will come automatically. So here the only thing that we need to know is what is regrettable, what is not regrettable. People who have no dharma practice, they may do many stupid things, but still they have no idea whether this is right or wrong. So they might think, why should I regret? I've simply enjoyed my life, why should I regret? That's how the people think. But if you're a practitioner who knows what is right, what is wrong, then you realize that you have committed or done something which is bad, then naturally you will regret at the time of the death. Okay?
Thank you.
Here.
One of the practices is equanimity.
Hmm.
So my question is, why in Buddhism there are hierarchy, like I see chairs that is higher than this chair, and there's just like people that are worshipping people. So why is that?
Equanimity is not the right word. Equality doesn't mean that you have no sense of seniority, right? Equality is a state of mental thinking that you don't, make great differentiation between people to people, right? That's equality. It's not so much where you are sitting, what you are doing, right? Because there must be in the society, there must be a sense of seniority. There must be respect for those educated, good people. If that is not there, then the society is actually degenerated, The highly qualified practitioners and others, from their side, they should be ready to sit down in the last line. But from our side, we should respect these people. This is the process. But if from the side of the teacher, he is really fond of sitting on high throne, elegant throne, something is wrong with that person. Right? So from our side, we should respect those seniors, those respectable practitioners, things like that. But from their side, they should not get puffed up. That is the right process, right?
Just after that, basically Buddhism arose as an attack on the caste system of Hinduism.
Yeah.
So that's how equality is completely inherent in Buddhism.
Yeah, caste system, yes, true. So therefore the Buddha said it is not the caste, the lineage of family that is important. What is important is what you do, what you practice. So in terms of practice, if somebody is really good, then you respect. Not because he is a prince or princess.
Just a follow-up. So my understanding was that everyone is good and the action should be separated from the person. So the action of the person should be separated.
Exactly.
Because everyone is good.
Yes.
So we don't have like bad people, good people, right? But what I'm hearing is just like some people are bad, some people are good.
No. No, it's a degree. Some people do more negative things, some people do more good things. But there are, even among those people who are really, really nasty negative, once in a while they end up doing good things also. So in that way, on that occasion, that person is good. But generally we say everybody has a Buddha nature. That doesn't mean everybody is good. We are not saying everybody is good. Everybody has goodness, badness. And then it is a degree. Some have a lot of goodness, some have very little goodness. So difference is only in degree.
Well, if there's enough time, I would be interested in like this puja that we did yesterday. If you could maybe explain a little bit, because it was all in Tibetan, and like what to actually do.
I will explain what puja I did. I was not here. I was not here.
Okay.
Guru Puja? Lama Chapa. Okay. Now I know. Guru Puja, Lama Chapa. This is a beautiful text, almost similar like this one, but offering to the Guru, as we say. Guru means Lama, your teacher. So you make offering to that Guru. But the main content of the text is both Sutra and Tantra. It talks about all the 6 perfections and the tantric practices, everything. And then specially focusing on the importance of Lama. Chune Lama, Chune Yedam, Chune Khandu Chujung. There is a line which says, you are the Lama, you are the Dakini, you are the Dharma protector, protect me this life, many lives to come, things like that. There's a lot of emphasis on Guru devotion, which is also important. That's not blind faith, but with understanding, because the teacher, the good, the right teacher is somebody who will guide you on the right path, right? The very meaning of this Hindi word, Sanskrit word, guru, is a combination of 2 words. Gu means ignorance. Ru means remover. The real guru is somebody who will remove your ignorance, help you remove your ignorance. Guru, that's the meaning. So therefore it's very important. This is important because even when you travel, as I said, travel from here to Delhi, still there you need to consult your travel agent or somebody who knows about that. Now when you talk about traveling to the next life, you're going to a completely unknown place where you have no idea, right? So therefore you need to rely on a qualified teacher, qualified master. It's very, very important, yeah. Okay. Yeah, last question, yeah.
I have one question about the merit also, that you said there's more merit if you imagine more Buddhas and this kind of, is it also the Guru who explains it to you? Like, is it more merit now in prostrating or in helping somebody? Like, what actions to choose to earn more merit?
Yeah, merit, earning merit, basically the word merit means doing good things. Okay? So there are so many different ways of collecting merit, but it is summarized into 2 practices, method and wisdom. Developing method means developing the heart, loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. Then wisdom means wisdom, realizing emptiness. So these 2 are the best ways of collecting merit. Increase your compassion, increase your wisdom. Okay. All right, see you tomorrow. Thank you.